Welcome back to the Market Wolf. Grant Cardone, this is an important tweet for Quant. It sounds crazy, but I want to get to it right now. Petro deal ended yesterday. The 50-year deal between the USA and Saudi Arabia to sell oil in dollars is over. This would lead to lower demand of US dollars. Do you think it gets renewed? Now, just personally, I don't think that the dollar is just completely out there yet, but I do want to show you why this is important for Quant, why it's important for CBDCs, and the projects that surround what's going on here with Saudi Arabia, because this goes a lot deeper than what we see on the surface here. This gets into BIS and two other protocols. So let's take a look at that right now. The first thing we have to talk about is mBridge. If you have not heard about mBridge, this is basically the CBDC that is likely going to run everything. And we have to figure out, is Quant associated with this or not? Okay, so you can see some of the banks here that are associated with it right now, all the way down to the People's Bank of China and also the Federal Reserve Central Bank. But I want to show you more about this, where you can see all the potential banks that are going to be coming along with this and why mBridge is so important. So this is the update from June 5th, 2024. Project mBridge continues its development and has reached the minimum viable product MVP stage while broadening its international reach. The project aims to explore a multi-central bank digital currency CBDC platform shared among participating central banks and commercial banks, built on distributed ledger technology DLT to enable instant cross-border payments and settlements. As of June 2024, the observing members to Project mBridge include, and here is all of the banks that are observing members. They are considering coming on. And now, of course, we have Saudi Arabia that would just naturally become a part of mBridge due to the dropping of the dollar and beginning to go along with this. And so I was curious, well, where exactly is mBridge located in terms of ownership? Who owns mBridge? Because there's a lot of partners working on it together, but somebody has to be the main source of money behind it. And so as it enters the MVP stage, Project mBridge is now inviting private sector firms to propose new solutions and use cases that help develop the platform and showcase all its potential. So there's a place for interested firms to apply, and of course, we need to find if Quant has been a part of this at all. And since mBridge is working with BIS, we know this because of Benedictine Nolans. She's the head of BIS, the BIS Innovation Hub, and she's really kind of on top of mBridge. She's the one that's kind of coordinating the show here. And we see this tweet that she sent out about RWA.xyz. If you haven't checked that out, you should. I didn't see Quant on there yet, and they may not be, but this is where the DeFi space is coming together to some degree. And of course, now BIS put out a paper basically saying DeFi is a pipe dream if you think that everything is just going to be decentralized and you're not going to have some centralization, because some centralization is going to be needed. And, they're right about that. And that's the way things seem to be shaping up right now. So mBridge reveals 15 use cases and 22 heavyweight participants. That's from Yahoo Finance. That's recent. Project mBridge reaches minimum viable product stage and invites further international participation. So these are all recent. Now, here's where we get into the important information. It uses Ethereum's Hyperledger BSU blockchain. Okay, so this is what mBridge is using, is Ethereum's Hyperledger BSU. So then we got to find out, well, does Quant have a relationship with either one of these entities, and who owns BSU? Well, it turns out that a company named ConsenSys owns BSU, and they also own MetaMask. They own a lot of different projects among BSU. There's a lot of things they're working on. They're not publicly traded yet, but there are some companies you can get into to invest in that would help you with that. And so, unfortunately, you would have to have an annual income of $200,000 right now to get into the IPO, and you could do that through HIIVE, or you have to have $1 million net worth excluding your residence, or you must be a qualifying financial professional. Okay, but you could have some exposure to them because all of these companies are investing heavily in Census. Now, this all points us back to mBridge. This all points us back to Enbridge as being a huge entity that is really probably going to be the main source behind connecting all of these CBDCs. So you've got MasterCard and JP Morgan giving money, right? 65 million. You got 200 million round valuation of 3.2 billion, okay? That's what the company disclosed. You've got HSCB and Coinbase. You've got Consensus also raising 450 million. All right? Microsoft's involved, SoftBank. So by buying shares of these companies, you'll have indirect exposure to Consensus. Now, they are right. It would be diluted, but that's some way to have indirect exposure. And of course, they talk about how AMD, NVIDIA, and TSM are also going to be a part of building this whole Web3 structure. And so you could invest there as well. I would say, personally, what we need to know, should we just be straight investing in Ethereum then? Should we just be straight investing in Quant while we're waiting on Census to be able to get into that? So here's the big deal. Here's where we make the connection. The Hyperledger Foundation. Now, this is an old article for 2021, but it gives us an idea of what is probably still going on behind the scenes. The brief analysis above points to a clear conclusion. API gateways, and this is key for Quant, okay? API gateways is one of the things they do best, have significant advantages over the other approaches. And it was for this reason that Quant chose the API gateway model for Overledger, our own solution to the challenge of interoperability, developed by a team highly experienced in the enterprise security and nation-level critical systems. Overledger is built on research that began as a collaboration with UCL and now provides a secure, simple, and cost-effective API connection to all major DLTs, a robust enterprise-grade solution. Overledger is easily integrated with multiple DLTs, including Hyperledger Fabric and Hyperledger Bisou. Very important connection. And Quant is constantly expanding the list of supported DLTs. So we know this relationship between Hyperledger Bisou and Quant is important because that takes us all the way back to mChain, all the way back to BIS. And BIS was already connected to Quant with Project Rosalind. We know this, but this is another connection that is extraordinarily important. Today, Overledger is helping to unlock the potential of DLTs in many major projects across the world. One of the most ambitious of these projects is LAC Chain, an alliance led by the Internet American Development Bank operating across the Latin American and Caribbean region. LAC Chain is already having demonstrable positive social impact, and the consortium has developed a roadmap that will ultimately lead to the interconnection of regional DLT ecosystems. And they go on and they talk about banking the unbanked, etc., how Overledger is going to be connected to this. But the biggest takeaway here is that Quant is connected to Bisou. Bisou is connected to back to Enbridge. And so we have got to keep our eyes on this. And I would highly recommend, if you're into Quant, following Bisou over there on X. I will post that up as well underneath this link to the video. So that's the important info for you there. Next deep dive, I'm going to be looking at the Trios. This is the Market Wolf. We will see you next time.